By the power of Grayskull, He-Man, a franchise literally no one cares about anymore, has returned in Masters of the Universe. Directed by Travis Knight, who directed that one Transformers movie.
And Kubo.
Connor, what's the plot of Masters of the Universe?
Skeletor takes over Eternia. Jacko,
what the frick are you doing, dude?
Skeletor takes over Eternia, and Adam gets sent off to the human dimension, Earth, and he dreams of his past life, but everybody thinks he's a crazy schizophrenic at his HR job. But then he finds the sword of fucking Jacko. Stop! Not. But then he finds the sword, his childhood sword, that will make him He-Man, and he says the thing and goes to. He tries saying the thing, but he can't remember it. That's what happens. Then his childhood friend picks him up and they fly back to Eternia for him to help liberate. And then they go on the run from Skeletor for a while. And then he confronts Skeletor, but Skeletor beats him in the second act. And he says, oh no, I'm beaten. But then he realizes he doesn't have to be He-Man to be the man. So he rallies the boys and the girls. And they fly out back to Castle Grayskull to fight Skeletor and his weird army of people. And they do. Then they beat him. And then there's an end credit scene where they're like, we're doing a She-Ra spinoff, maybe? And apparently there was a second end credit scene where Skeletor shows up we didn't stay for. So, unlike the original Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, they're doubling down. Not only are they teasing Skeletor's return, but they're also teasing a potential She-Ra spin-off or
famously
showing up in the sequel.
The original movie was one of the first movies to ever have a post-credits scene in which Skeletor says, I will return, and then he never did.
Yep. And they tried it again. This time they were confident again. But this movie was kind of in on the meme a lot, so.
Oh, yeah.
The movie was in on the meme from the start, so it's not surprising. And it's like, well, worst case scenario, Skeletor doesn't return, and it's, kind of a wink and a nudge to the fact that Skeletor didn't return the first time. So it's one of those, it's a low stakes end credit scene because it's both a callback gag and a, whatever. So Aiden, what are your thoughts on the Masters of the Universe?
I was dreading Masters of the Universe for weeks. I was like, oh, this looks like absolute fucking slop. This is gonna be dumb CGI cape shit. It's probably written by AI. No, this movie rocks. This is this year's Aquaman. It's China core to the extreme. Really, the only thing preventing it from making $1 trillion in China is the fact that one of the major characters is a talking skeleton, which you're not allowed to do over there. But I propose that they could just CGI over Skeletor's face and call him like Wizard Man or something.
I think you just remove the effect and you have Jared Leto, because Jared Leto looks like a skeleton.
Yeah.
They pretty much removed Jared Leto's nose. Like, you could really tell that the CGI character was Jared Leto.
Yeah, I mean, it's slop. It's the same kind of slop that Aquaman is. Where it's
elevated slop, Furious 7.
Yeah. The first half of it is very self-aware. He-Man is turned into a dweeby HR guy who tries to talk out his problems with like cartoon supervillains with sword hands and giant monsters, and it's really goofy and silly, and all the human world stuff was like an immediate red flag for me. I was like, oh god, we're doing this. No, one of the best parts in the movie. The action's not fantastic, but it is silly. I think there's like 4 times in this movie where He-Man grabs people and starts doing a tornado spin so he can throw them, I don't know what to say. It's fun. I mean, he befriends a wacky cast of characters. The green tiger talks like that heaven dog from the Nathan For You episode, and Idris Elba's an alcoholic, and there's love interest girl. She's there. I think she's one of the girls from Riverdale.
Dog track.
The big robot thing. Other stuff. I mean, it's a CGI hellscape movie, but it's like in the same kind of fun, stupid way that Aquaman is, where this movie would double Jeff Bezos' net worth if it came to China. It's just it's the exact kind of slop that I love. I have the same tastes as a Chinese sweatshop worker when it comes to
Movies.
to stupid cartoon action movies, and this is the stupidest cartoon action movie made since Aquaman. It's certainly, like, if you have reasonable tastes, it's bad. Like, by most measures, it's a pretty bad movie.
I think it's one of those things where if you have reasonable tastes, you probably aren't watching He-Man.
That's true.
And it's definitely not made for you. There's no getting around the concept of He-Man, which is that there's a guy who's a normal man, but when he yells, "I have the power," and lifts up his magical sword, he becomes a chiseled muscle man who's a superhero. And he fights a skeleton man, and all of the side characters are fucking ridiculous, look like they're made up by children.
Jared Leto is shockingly good as Skeletor. He's honestly perfect.
It was a great role for him.
I think, like, I haven't seen a whole lot of the original He-Man. I know he was kind of like a goofy Saturday morning cartoon, but they definitely lean into the camp with Skeletor and make him just like a full-blown cartoon character. Really works. Jared Leto somehow just perfectly nails being the evil cartoon man, which is funny. In his, like, big speech, Connor missed this part, but Skeletor gives, like, a big speech about He-Man tries to therapy talk him, and he's just like, "I don't want any therapy talk. I think being evil's really fucking fun." Perfect. And they do the meme song. They do the hey, 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 hey.
Well, I think the reason Jared Leto works is because he's maybe he's finally become self-aware that nobody wants to. And Jared Leto the thing about Skeletor is he is a crazy, over-the-top character, which is what Jared Leto tried to do with Joker. It's just a lot of wrong angles, and it wasn't the movie they were making, his Joker, and it clearly wasn't even the Joker they were making for him.
Yeah.
So the fact that they say just be a fucking cartoon supervillain in CGI kind of worked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jared Leto just always gets really horrible.
The first action scene in the movie.
Picks horrible projects.
First action scene in the movie is done to the "What's Going On" song, which famously had the He-Man meme back 20 years ago.
He's the reason that song is known in the West, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
T.I. and Rihanna made the fucking remix song out of it off of the back of a fucking 2007 He-Man meme.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know. If you like the most stupid, brain-dead Chinese slop that's ever existed, a la Aquaman or like Transformers 4, this is pretty much it. It's I loved it. Connor, what'd you think of Masters of the Universe?
I think when Mattel pitched this to Prime, they said, "We made a shit zillion dollars on Barbie, let's make Man Barbie." and I mean, even when they made up He-Man, they said, "We're Mattel." Mattel was watching everyone else get, like, you had, like, Transformers and G.I. Joe, which were both Hasbro, and they're like, "We need to capture the man audience, we can't just be dolls," so they're like, "Alright, let's make man dolls," and then they're like, "We'll make man action figures," and they're like, "Well, they'll just be ridiculous, they'll have to have six-pack abs, and they swing the swords around."
Big, strong
man with ridiculous characters.
Blue, but the thing was, man.
like with Transformers and G.I. Joe, there were definitely ridiculous gimmick characters based on the toys, but by and large, I mean, G.I. Joe was like gimmicky army men, and Transformers were like, what type of car does this robot transform into, or airplane? But Ninja Turtles, which they don't lean into it enough in the movies, but Ninja Turtles had a lot of ridiculous characters, and He-Man was like just the fucking crack factory. And I always love, it was a movie we were watching a while ago where the lore of it's just so ridiculous that the characters sound schizophrenic. So they had the classic fucking He-Man runs around pretending to be like everyone thinks he's just a fucking crazy schizo, basically. There's something else we watched recently that did it, and I thought it's a genius way to do it.
Let's see, what was that?
You know what? We were talking about that. Just go to films. Was it Mortal Kombat kind of did it? No.
Faces of Death did a little.
I don't know. It might have been something older. I don't remember really.
Let me see if I can figure it out.
Regardless, there's a level where like sometimes that's the play. I mean, they did that same thing with Sam Witwicky in the original Transformers, where he was talking about Transformers and shit, and everyone's like, "Okay, buddy." And sometimes that's just the way to play it. The action, I could even tell from like the first action scene was Idris Elba fighting, I don't know, Clawman or whatever the fuck, Skeletor's friend. And like first off,
Final Destination Bloodlines kind of does that.
It's not that. It's some other like fucking high concept ass movie. I mean, even Minecraft kind of does it. But there was some like high concept fucking action movie or something. I can't remember. It might have been something old we were watching or I made a review on or something. I just can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
Yeah, there's not anything too recent that...
I have no concept of what it was, but I feel like I was talking about something like this a while ago where someone was schizo ranting about the Lord. I found it funny. But that is kind of the thing. It's like in the cartoon from the 80s, it's like, okay, this is the lore. This extendable neck man and blah blah blah, and He-Man lives in Eternia in this fucking castle and he's got the power of Grayskull. But obviously it sounds fucking ridiculous to the people of Earth. And I thought a lot of the scenes were really funny. Like, it was almost like a comedy on those Earth scenes and stuff. And one thing I always think, there's a couple moments I'm like, fuck, they're doing this. One of them is they go to Earth, and I'm like, please don't be 45 minutes of him fucking around on Earth. And I don't know how close it was to 45 minutes. I guess it was like 25 minutes of him on Earth, but it was so funny. I was having such a great time. I didn't care. And then there was another point where their ship crashed, and they were in the trees, and the love interest was talking about how Idris Elba shouldn't be an alcoholic anymore and stuff. And I was like, fuck, they're gonna do this for an hour, and they're gonna be fucking around in the woods. Is that what they're gonna do? And then after like 2 minutes, he's like, okay, well, the lady's like, we gotta fuck around in the woods like a normal movie would do. And he said, no, we gotta go and fight Skeletor right the fuck now. Yeah. And then they go to fight Skeletor right the fuck then, and they get their asses kicked. But
some of the funniest stuff in the movies when he's on Earth and he's like at his day job as HR and someone's making complaints while he's browsing eBay looking for his sword. And
yeah, everyone thinks he's really... And it is funny, too, because, like, they frame him like he's a total insane person, and I almost wish the movie cold opened on that and then, like, worked the background into a flashback when they landed in the woods or something.
Yeah.
Because, like, he has like drawings of the sword up in his room and no one believes him.
Yeah, and he is.
And he's like crouched down, he's like seething, and he sleeps in his clothes, and everyone's like, "You're really sweaty at work." Like
all his
looking at
drawings
swords when you're supposed to be working.
All his drawings are like weird little child drawings that look terrible, and he goes on a date and tries to explain how the sword works with a Coca-Cola analogy, and
I genuinely think
it's fun.
I genuinely think if I had one thing I would have changed about the structures, I would have I would have taken the ultimate risk and just started with the Earth stuff, and then the lady shows up and he's totally vindicated. Maybe he starts to not believe himself in the sword, or I guess they kind of like in the movie he's like just totally believes it, no one else does. And I think that could have been kind of funny, a good reveal when it turns out he indeed was the prince of some sort of fantasy fucking weird land.
Yeah.
But one thing, like the makeup effects on all these ridiculous characters are really good, especially like the Clawman. There's good costumes.
Skeletor looks fantastic.
Well thought out choreography, and I know we were calling it a CGI hellscape slop fest, but like. In my mind, I kept comparing it to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was similar, full of ridiculous characters and creatures, and it was a CGI hellfest. But this world actually looked like good and well thought out.
Closer to Aquaman.
The protagonist is kind of a farce, but like you also kind of feel for him and like him anyways. I found He-Man fairly likable, and like somehow they kind of. Somehow, with like basically no context, but the fact that this guy's a ridiculous schizophrenic man, you can just buy into the point where by the time 35 minutes into the movie, he's having his muscles expand so he can become a super He-Man. It's not as ridiculous as most filmmakers probably would have let it to be.
Well, shockingly, they also tie the whole him on Earth being an HR manager guy. They tie it all back together because he uses therapy speak to rouse his army and get everyone to fight behind him in the final battle, and it's great.
It's a shockingly horny movie. There's Ramhead or whatever the fuck the character's name is, and they keep saying to give him head, and then there's the fist, and they keep saying he's fisting people.
There's bending goblins over and fisting them.
Yeah, it's a very
it's only gay horny.
It's only gay horny, thankfully.
There's one almost straight kiss, but there's lots of gay innuendo.
Yeah, it's like a movie that was made 20 years ago. It's like Little Man or something, with the amount of gay innuendo flying around in the movie. And on Pride Month, too, I can't believe it. This movie, this man movie. I kind of did feel like they wanted really badly to be like, okay, we have Barbie for the women, and we want them, and that very much like took the characters took the concept seriously, but the movie realized some of the ridiculousness of Barbie, and I think they kind of wanted to do the same thing here, and I think it's as close to succeeding as they were gonna get. Yeah. I thought they did a pretty good job. I was dreading He-Man. I wouldn't have suspected that Jon Favreau's Mandalorian and Grogu would have been significantly worse. And I'm not even just talking about on like an entertainment value level. I'm even talking about like a protagonist you actually care about. It somehow feels original even though it's a remake of He-Man. The writing's better. There's stuff happening.
It looks better.
It really... I mean, it's kind of the same feeling I got watching the original Guardians of the Galaxy, where you're just kind of delightfully surprised that it's not fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was pretty. I'm pretty positive towards it. I thought it was pretty okay. Pretty good. So, Aiden, would you recommend He-Man Masters of the Universe, parentheses 2026, not the one from parentheses as well, not the one from the 80s? Dolph
Shocking.
Lundgren does show up though.
He does. Funny cameo. Shockingly, my answer is yes. Yes, I thought Masters of the Universe was very fun. If you're like the normal kind of, you want to watch a Zack Snyder type movie or like the average MCU thing, this might not be for you. It's for the connoisseurs who enjoy the slightly
Chinese
cringe
people
side.
like me and Aiden.
For the Chinese sweatshop workers in the audience who just want to watch Transformers 4 and Aquaman. Well, they didn't watch Aquaman 2, but, if you prefer the name Ranger Solo for Solo, a Star Wars story, this might be the greatest movie you've ever seen. Outside of the fact that there's a talking skeleton in it.
If you prefer Ranger Paul and the Big Seven adventure over Furious 7, then this is probably your thing.
If any Chinese production companies need some advice, I highly suggest the title Muscle Man versus Wizard Man for this one when you localize it to China. It's like a slop masterpiece.
Ranger He-Man versus the Wizard of Doom or something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe like...
I think Ranger He-Man works fine. You don't even have to change his name.
I think, Ranger He-Man versus... Chinese people really like vampires for some reason, so maybe you could say Skeletor's like a vampire.
No, you gotta say he's a leaping vampire.
Yeah, they can
go edit
through
in some leaping.
Connor, would you recommend Masters of the Universe?
I would recommend Ranger He-Man versus the Leaping Vampire. I thought it was pretty fucking epic. I thought it was pretty funny. I feel like He-Man will probably... It's quite possible by our end of the year ranking list that this will outgun any other live action, highly budgeted action slop of the year. If you can't, I would recommend making it to the theater for
I
this.
really want to see He-Man 2.
It's very theatrical, but I'm pretty sure it'll probably wind up free I think it's definitely coming free to Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually like that. Why is Amazon Prime? All the traditional studios are like, well, this is like a Disney Plus exclusive. Amazon Prime knows what to do. They're like, we're gonna make fucking ginormous movies for our streaming service that we're gonna run in theaters like a normal movie first.
Yeah.
It's like...
If you're too lazy to go to the theater, watch this on Prime in 3 to 5 months.
Yeah. I think it's genius, and Netflix and Prime are the only people that... Netflix to a much lesser extent.
Apple TV Plus as well.
HBO and Disney, both traditional movie studios, neither of them decided to make streaming movies. Expensive, overpriced streaming movies like Netflix and Prime does.
And
Netflix and
TV
Prime
Plus.
are doing more to save the and Apple are doing more to save the theatrical industry. I guess fucking they pretended that Mandalorian and Grogu wasn't just a streaming show.
Yeah.
In disguise.